The Buddha, the greatest teacher in the history of human consciousness. The journey to finding balance. In the fast-paced rhythm of modern life, we often get caught up in pressures and expectations. Work, family, social media, and endless plans all seem to pull us away from the present moment. Do you ever feel like you're racing against time, trying to accomplish as much as possible but still feeling empty? Or perhaps you find yourself trapped in worries about the future or regrets about the past. This is the reality many of us face. Surprisingly, the solution to this struggle doesn't lie in doing more or achieving more. It lies in returning to ourselves, right here, right now. Mindfulness, an ancient concept taught by the Buddha over 2,500 years ago, holds the key to peace amidst the chaos of life. You don't need to abandon the material world or completely change your lifestyle to practice mindfulness. It's not about giving up responsibilities or neglecting ambitious goals. Instead, it's about learning to live more consciously, to be present, and to find balance. Imagine stepping into a quiet room, free from the distractions of phones, work, or external noise. In this room, you find a space for yourself, a space to breathe, to feel, and to live true to your essence. Mindfulness is that room in your mind. It's always there, waiting for you to step inside. The next section will guide you on how to bring mindfulness into your daily life through simple yet profoundly transformative practices. Let's explore ways to cultivate inner calm and rediscover balance, even in the smallest moments of your day. The teachings of the Buddha and their relevance today. In a world full of turmoil, the teachings of the Buddha remain as valuable as ever. His philosophy is not merely a spiritual legacy, but a roadmap for navigating the complexities of modern life. The Buddha did not advocate for escaping the world, but rather taught how to live harmoniously with oneself and the world around us. Imagine your day, juggling work tasks, relationship pressures, and worries about the future. Do you ever wish you could pause and find a moment of peace amidst the chaos? This is why the Buddha's teachings continue to resonate. They offer tools to cultivate tranquility, even during life's most challenging moments. Why are the Buddha's teachings still valuable? To understand this better, let's start with the story of a woman named Maria. She was a graphic designer living in a small New York apartment, frequently feeling trapped in her life. Despite attending numerous stress reduction workshops, Maria couldn't find true answers. One day, she came across the story of the Buddha and his renunciation. What captivated her wasn't the idea of giving up everything, but the Buddha's emphasis that happiness isn't something external. It arises from within. Maria began practicing meditation, a technique the Buddha taught to help calm the mind. At first, she struggled to face her chaotic thoughts, but over time, she learned to observe her anxieties without letting them control her. One morning, as sunlight streamed through her window, Maria realized that true happiness came from her ability to fully live in the present moment. Maria's story reflects the power of the Buddha's teachings. They are not just theoretical but offer practical solutions to confront stress, fear, and the search for meaning in life. The revolutionary approach of the Buddha. The Buddha introduced a groundbreaking and unique perspective on spirituality. Instead of teaching dependence on external entities for salvation, he revealed that true power lies within each individual. This approach transcended the limitations of his era and continues to resonate today. Take, for example, the story of Ethan, a young leader in Silicon Valley. Ethan, a successful CEO, found himself increasingly burdened by pressure and expectations, losing joy in his work. He came across the story of the Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree, overcoming all temptations to attain enlightenment. Ethan realized he didn't need to fight against his stress. Instead, he needed to learn acceptance and letting go. Ethan started practicing mindfulness during meetings. He focused on every word, every thought, and learned not to overreact to challenges. As a result, He became not only calmer, but also inspired a positive work environment for his team. This approach doesn't just help individuals find peace, it fosters positive change within communities and society. The journey of transformation, the Buddha's story. The Buddha's life journey has always been a source of inspiration. Born as a prince in luxurious surroundings, Siddhartha Gautama had everything an ordinary person might desire. Yet, when faced with the realities of aging, sickness, and death, he realized that material comfort couldn't mask life's inherent suffering. Imagine a quiet night in the palace. As everyone else slept, the Buddha silently walked away, leaving behind all that was familiar to embark on a quest for life's true meaning. This wasn't just about renouncing material wealth. It was an internal journey to confront the deepest fears of humanity. During his quest, the Buddha studied with many teachers, but discovered that the answers were not external, they lay within. Under the Bodhi tree, he attained enlightenment, understanding that the root of suffering is attachment, and that liberation comes from letting go. Applying the Buddha's teachings in daily life. The Buddha's teachings are not just for those living in monasteries. They are meant for all of us navigating the demands of modern life. Here are a few ways you can incorporate them. 1. Mindfulness in daily work. The next time you feel overwhelmed by work, take a few minutes to practice mindfulness. Focus on your breath or listen to the sounds around you without judgment. This will help you find calmness and handle tasks with greater clarity. 2. Letting go of what no longer serves you. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. This doesn't only apply to material possessions, but also to negative emotions and false beliefs. Think of a relationship or habit you've clung to. Even though it no longer benefits you, letting go can create space for new, positive experiences. 3. Compassion for yourself and others. One of the Buddha's core teachings is compassion. Start with yourself by stopping self-criticism when you make mistakes. Then extend this compassion to those around you, even those who challenge your patience. Connecting to the human heart. The stories of individuals like Maria and Ethan, along with countless others who have embraced the Buddha's teachings, demonstrate that his philosophy is not abstract. It is a practical path that each of us can follow, whether it's small steps like focusing on your breath or deeper acts of letting go. We can all begin our journeys of transformation. The Buddha's teachings remain timeless because they speak directly to the human condition, offering both wisdom and tools to navigate life's complexities. As the Buddha himself taught, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. For a compassionate story, the power of kindness. Compassion, or metta, is one of the core teachings of the Buddha, carrying a timeless message of healing and connection. The Buddha taught that compassion is not merely about treating others kindly, but also about patience, forgiveness, and love for oneself. This is especially crucial in the modern world, where people often find it easy to blame themselves or judge others in moments of weakness. George's story, a journey to peace. George, a veteran, had endured years of both physical and mental battles. Traumatic memories of war haunted him, particularly the decisions he believed he had gotten wrong. George harbored anger not only toward the world, but also toward himself, believing he deserved to suffer for his past mistakes. Each day felt heavy and isolating, as he found it impossible to forgive himself. One day, George decided to attend a meditation session at a local center, hoping to find some peace. There, he heard a teacher share the story of Angulimala, a renowned figure in Buddhist history. The story of Angulimala, a symbol of transformation. Before becoming a monk, Angulimala was an infamous murderer. Legend says he had killed many people in a fit of rage and delusion, even wearing a necklace made of his victims' fingers. However, when he encountered the Buddha, Angulimala underwent an extraordinary transformation. The Buddha did not judge or punish him, but instead approached him with compassion and understanding. The Buddha said, "Violence can never end violence. Only compassion can heal this world." These words deeply moved Angulimala. He renounced his violent ways, became a monk, and spent the rest of his life serving the community and seeking atonement. Although Angulimala could not change his past, he used his remaining days to make a positive difference. The lesson of compassion. Hearing this story, George felt as if a light had pierced through the darkness in his mind. He realized that if someone like Angulimala could be forgiven and transformed, he too could learn to forgive himself. George began practicing metta, a form of meditation focused on cultivating compassion. Practicing metta, George's first steps toward healing. The teacher guided George to repeat simple yet meaningful phrases in his mind. May I be at peace. May I be loved. May I be happy. At first, George struggled. He felt unworthy of such goodness. But over time, as he persistently repeated these phrases, he began to notice a small shift within himself. The self-recrimination started to fade, replaced by acceptance and compassion for himself. Once George felt comfortable extending compassion to himself, he expanded his metta practice to others, his family, friends, and even those he once considered enemies. He repeated similar phrases for them in his mind. May they be at peace. May they be loved. May they be happy. Initially, sending compassion to those who had hurt him was a significant challenge. But gradually, George realized that forgiveness was not a gift for others, but a gift he gave himself. It allowed him to release anger and find lightness in his heart. The healing power of compassion. George's story emphasizes that compassion is not just a virtue. It is a transformative power. It can turn pain into healing, resentment into forgiveness, and anger into love. Through the practice of metta, George not only learned to forgive himself, but also found a sense of connection with the world around him. Metta in everyday life. Compassion is not reserved for special moments, but can be practiced at any time in daily life. Here are some simple ways to incorporate metta. When you feel angry or frustrated, pause, take a deep breath, and repeat the phrase, "May I be at peace. May I be loved." And when encountering a difficult or unfriendly person, instead of reacting negatively, think, "May they be happy. May they find peace." And when blaming yourself, remember that everyone makes mistakes. Gently tell yourself, "I am learning. I deserve forgiveness and love." Metta, a gift for the world. Through metta, George found peace. He not only healed himself, but also spread positive energy to those around him. His story reminds us that compassion is not a distant ideal. It is within everyone's reach. And when we choose to treat ourselves and others with kindness, we contribute to making the world a better place. The path of letting go, lessons in liberation. Letting go, as taught by the Buddha, does not mean giving up everything you cherish or rejecting life. Instead, it is about freeing yourself from the grip of desires, expectations, and attachments to live more freely and peacefully. Attachment is one of the root causes of suffering because it ties us to things beyond our control, leading to disappointment and pain. Attachment in everyday life. Attachment is not limited to material possessions like money, houses, or property. It also includes clinging to abstract ideas such as pride, ego, or the desire to control others. This can be seen in many daily situations. Or attachment to opinions. When we feel the need to prove ourselves right in every argument, it often leads to conflict. Or attachment to expectations. When we want others to behave in a way we deem correct, we feel disappointed or angry when they don't. Or attachment to emotions. Holding on to anger, hurt, or resentment for too long causes suffering, not to others, but to ourselves. The story of James and Sarah, a lesson from a temple. James and Sarah, a young couple living in London, loved each other but often argued over trivial matters. James complained about Sarah's lack of organization, while Sarah felt James didn't care enough about her emotions. Each argument pushed them further apart, leaving both feeling stuck and frustrated. One day, they decided to travel to Thailand to escape work stress and mend their relationship. During the trip, they visited a Buddhist temple on a mountaintop. There, they listened to a talk from the abbot, who shared a story about a man holding a hot stone and the pain he felt from gripping it tightly. The abbot said, "You don't have to give up everything to find peace, but when you hold on to something too tightly, it causes you pain. Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means loosening your grip so you're no longer hurt." Practicing letting go. James and Sarah's transformation. James and Sarah realized that their arguments stemmed from attachment to their egos and unrealistic expectations. James wanted Sarah to change to meet his standards of neatness, while Sarah expected James to understand her emotions without her expressing them. Both were trying to control each other instead of accepting each other as they were. They decided to practice meditation every morning at the temple. Through each session, they learned to observe their thoughts without judgment and realized much of their tension came from clinging to negative thoughts. After returning to London, they maintained their new habits. James learned to listen without reacting hastily. He realized that letting Sarah express her feelings without interruption made her feel more understood. Sarah learned to let go of the expectation that James should immediately understand her. She began to communicate with him more openly, reducing unnecessary misunderstandings. Gradually, their relationship strengthened, not because they changed each other, but because they learned to accept one another. Letting go to attain freedom. Letting go is not a loss. It is an act of liberation. When you release unrealistic expectations, you free yourself from disappointment. When you let go of anger or hurt, you regain peace of mind. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with grudges from the past, worries about the future, and expectations you place on yourself and others. Each step you take, the backpack makes you more tired. When you decide to put it down, you not only feel lighter, but can walk much farther. How to practice letting go. Observe your thoughts and emotions. When you feel angry or disappointed, ask yourself, what am I clinging to? Simply recognizing your attachment is the first step to letting go. Practice gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you lack or how others fail to meet your expectations, spend time each day writing down 3 things you are grateful for. This helps shift your perspective and reduces reliance on expectations. Relax your body. Mental tension often manifests in the body. Try a relaxation meditation. Lie down. Focus on each part of your body and consciously release any tension. This physical practice helps your mind relax as well. I learned to forgive. Forgiveness does not mean condoning what happened. It means choosing to release the pain caused by others so you can move forward with ease. A timeless lesson. The story of James and Sarah, along with the lesson of the hot stone, reminds us that letting go is not about loss, but about achieving true freedom. By loosening our grip on ego, expectations, and negative emotions, we not only free ourselves from suffering, but also create space for love, understanding, and gratitude to grow. As the Buddha taught, letting go is the path to liberation. Practicing mindfulness in everyday life. Mindfulness is not just a meditation technique, but a way of living that you can integrate into daily activities. Practicing mindfulness doesn't require much time or special spaces. It involves small moments that you can use to connect with yourself and live more fully. Below are 3 simple yet powerful methods to practice mindfulness in everyday life. 1. Spend quiet time. How to practice. Each morning, before starting your day, spend 5 minutes sitting in silence. Find a comfortable, undisturbed spot. Sit with your back straight. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Pay attention to the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. If thoughts arise, don't try to push them away. Instead, simply acknowledge them and gently bring your focus back to your breath. Why is this important? This quiet moment in the morning is an opportunity to set the foundation for your day. It helps you start with a clear mind instead of immediately diving into worries or tasks. Many people begin their day by checking their phones or emails, which can increase stress levels. In contrast, spending quiet time fosters calmness and focus. Practical benefits. It reduces morning anxiety. It improves focus at work. It enhances mental health by reducing stress. Example: imagine you are a teacher preparing for a long day of classes. Instead of rushing to plan lessons or check emails right after waking up, you spend 5 minutes in silence. Afterward, you feel lighter and more confident in facing the day's challenges. 2. Pay attention to emotions. How to practice. When you feel angry, anxious, or sad, pause and take a few seconds to recognize your emotions. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? What triggered this emotion? Don't try to suppress or change the emotion. Instead, accept it as part of the human experience. After acknowledging it, take a few deep breaths and focus on the sensations in your body. Why is this important? When we fail to recognize our emotions, they often control how we act. For instance, unchecked anger can lead to hurtful words or actions. By identifying emotions early, you can avoid negative reactions and choose more thoughtful responses. Practical benefits. It reduces the likelihood of reacting impulsively. It increases emotional regulation. It improves relationships with others. Example: one afternoon, you're stuck in heavy traffic and start to feel irritated. Instead of losing your temper, you pause, notice your irritation, and realize it stems from anxiety about being late. You take a deep breath and remind yourself, traffic is beyond my control. I'll remain calm and wait. This helps you avoid unnecessary stress. 3. Practice gratitude. How to practice. Before going to bed, take a few minutes to reflect on your day and write down 3 things you're grateful for. These don't need to be grand gestures. They can be as simple as a delicious meal, a warm conversation, or pleasant weather. As you write, genuinely feel the gratitude and notice the positive emotions that arise. Why is this important? Practicing gratitude helps you focus on the positive aspects of life rather than dwelling on imperfections. It shifts your mindset away from scarcity and fosters inner contentment. Practical benefits. It reduces stress and anxiety. It enhances life satisfaction. It improves sleep quality. Example: after a busy workday, you write down, I'm grateful for my colleague helping me solve a difficult problem today. I'm grateful for having a lovely dinner with my family. I'm grateful for the beautiful weather that allowed me to take a 15-minute walk. This practice ends your day on a positive note, relaxing your mind and making it easier to sleep. Integrating mindfulness into daily life. These 3 methods are not standalone techniques, but can be connected to form a comprehensive mindfulness routine. In the morning, spend 5 minutes in silence to start your day. During the day, pay attention to your emotions and responses to stay clear-headed. In the evening, practice gratitude to cultivate positivity. When practiced regularly, mindfulness not only reduces stress, but also brings profound changes to how you live and perceive the world. Mindfulness is a path to connecting with the present, finding joy in small things, and creating a more meaningful life. As the Buddha taught, the secret of mental and physical health is not to mourn the past or worry about the future, but to live wisely and earnestly in the present moment. The journey back to inner peace. Mindfulness is not just a practice but a way of life, a path that allows you to immerse yourself in the present moment, find balance, and experience peace amidst life's ups and downs. Like a compass, mindfulness doesn't change the world around you, but it helps you navigate and face every situation with clarity and calmness. Remember, the journey of practicing mindfulness doesn't have to be perfect. It's a journey filled with patience, self-compassion, and acceptance that each moment is an opportunity to begin anew. Whether it's 5 minutes of quiet in the morning, a slow, intentional breath during the day, or a heartfelt moment of gratitude before sleep, you are steadily building a more meaningful and peaceful life. The Buddha once said, "No one can bring you peace but yourself. Choose your path." You already have the tools needed for transformation, from setting aside quiet moments, recognizing your emotions, to practicing gratitude. These are small yet powerful steps to move closer to a conscious and fulfilling life. Start today. Take a moment to pause, listen to your breath, and reconnect with yourself. Mindfulness is not a destination, it is a journey. With every step, you can find joy and peace. As you continue this journey, remember that Inner Stillness is here to support you, offering lessons, stories, and practices to guide you back to yourself. May you always find peace, stillness, and wholeness in every moment of your life. Don't forget to follow the Inner Stillness channel for more insights on living with balance and awareness. See you in the next video. Herb Sparkles.